Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, October 18th, 2013. If you're listening on the radio and wish to watch this, go to www.catex.com. Well, in Syria, we keep talking about the UN and chemical weapons, but we forget that there's a war raging, a civil war. Today it was confirmed that a high-level Syrian general has been killed in a battle with rebels in the eastern province of Deir ez-Zor. Major General Jameh was head of military intelligence in the province. The Syrian radio confirmed that in fact he was killed. Rumors from the Observatory for Human Rights in Syria are indicating that he may have been killed in a sniper in the city of Rashdia. No word yet from the rebels as to confirming it or not. They probably didn't know that they actually killed him. In Bermuda, the reinsurer Endurance yesterday confirmed that it in fact had poached 4 executives from rival Axis, including Chris Donlan. Donlan is going to become the chief underwriting officer at Endurance's U.S. reinsurance arm. This was reported earlier in the week. Of course, Endurance is led by reinsurance entrepreneur John Charman, who also founded Axis. Donlan is being joined by Michael Fokin, Tracy Thompson, Nicholas Lacasey, and Mark Strona. In the most populous state of Australia, New South Wales, almost 100 wildfires are raging right now. 1 person has been killed, about 80 houses have been completely destroyed. 25 of the fires are still burning out of control. Unseasonably hot temperatures and strong winds are fanning flames across a parched landscape. So they're faced with some difficulties there. That happens every year at about this time. The investigation into the Kenyan mall attack that killed 67 people is now focusing in Norway. A Norwegian citizen may have been at the heart of the terror attack. This is being reported by both the BBC and the New York Times. 23-year-old Hassan Abdi Duhulau is being sought. Actually, more information about him is being sought. It's thought that he was one of 4 gunmen who were killed in the attack at the Westgate Mall. This has not been confirmed. The Norwegian security police are not revealing any information. It's actually not even known yet if he survived the attack. As we know, it seems that a number of the gunmen may have escaped with so-called hostages who ran out of the mall with their hands up. Here's an interesting story. Royal Sun Alliance, one of the UK's biggest reinsurers, or I should say biggest insurers, is closing its Indian call center. About 350 jobs are going to be lost in India, and the jobs are going to be returned to the United Kingdom. In the Sunderland, Liverpool, and Halifax offices in the UK, some 350 jobs are going to be either filled internally or posted externally. Stephen Burns, who recently gave up his position as Chief Financial Officer of Australian insurer QBE Europe, has reversed his decision to become the group CFO down in Sydney, and instead he's going to retire. He handed over his CEO role of QBE Europe to Richard Price. He was supposed to move to Sydney to replace Neil Dropsch as the current CFO in February of next year, but Mr. Burns decided he's going to retire for what he described as lifestyle and personal reasons. Here's an interesting story. Workers of Brazil's state-run oil company Petrobras have gone on a nationwide strike protesting next week's scheduled auction of a huge offshore oil tract, arguing that foreign companies should not be involved. About 90% of the company's 40,000 employees walked off the job last night. Petrobras is trying to deal with the production situation. Workers are demanding the suspension of the upcoming auction of the Libra field. The Libra field is thought to hold some 12 billion barrels of oil. They don't want foreign companies involved and are looking for revenue sharing arrangements with the union. That's very interesting. Yesterday afternoon at about 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time, San Francisco police evacuated the popular Union Square area in downtown San Francisco because of a suspicious package. A 1-block radius around Union Square was closed down to vehicles and pedestrians. It's a major tourist draw. About 3 hours later, the square was reopened. And in Kentucky, here's an interesting story too. More than $25,000 of the rarest and most sought-after bourbon is missing. Investigators think it might have been an inside job. About 65 cases of 20-year-old Pappy Van Winkle bourbon were swiped from a secure warehouse at Buffalo Trace Distillery's Frankfurt operations. The bourbon sells for about, let me make sure I get this straight, it retails for about $130 and is worth $300 to $400 a bottle on the secondary market. Pappy is one of the nation's most sought-after bourbons, with a reported production of only about 7,000 cases a year at the old Rip Van Winkle distillery. The bourbon is aged 20 years and bottled at 90.4 proof. That's about 45.2% alcohol. That means you could probably pour it in your car and drive with it. It's rocket fuel. Hopefully somebody will find it and nobody pays a claim on it. Have a good weekend. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you Monday.